Thank you, Zoom. Okay, let me share my screen. And let's get to the right place. You don't want to see my Facebook, do you? Okay, we are going to learn how to stay on track, plan your actions, and ramp up results. I promise you that achieving everything you want to achieve is easier than what you think if you take out all the fluff and the bullshit. All right, so let's just dive straight on into it. First of all, can I ask, did everyone set goals at the beginning of the year? Doesn't matter if they're personal or business, right? Like the way you do one thing in life is the way you do everything in life. So it really doesn't matter. So nod your head if you set business goals at the beginning of the year. Okay, if you didn't set business goals at the beginning of the year, don't panic. I just want you to think about, I want you to think back to, New Year's Eve when you were dancing around the fire. What did you think you were going to achieve in this year? So it doesn't matter if you didn't set a specific goal, but I want you to reach your mind back to what you thought you would be achieving. And just write that down for me. If you don't have pen and paper, go and grab it now. Hi, Tanya. We've only just gotten started, so you're absolutely fine. I've just asked everyone to cast their mind back to dancing around the fire on New Year's Eve and recall what they intended to bring forth in this year.
Yeah, no, I didn't do any of that.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was too busy entertaining people.
It's okay. So, but we all kind of have somewhere in mind, right? Like when we've got a business, we're like, this is where I want it to be at the end of the year. So you would have, even if you didn't write it down or it wasn't intentional, there would be somewhere that you thought you would have your business to be at the end of the year. Just ignore this first part.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're going to dive on in. All right, you all know who I am, right? I think there might be a couple of people in here who don't know me particularly well. But if you don't know me well, you soon will know me well. I swear I'm an energy maverick. I've got an MBA and all the boring qualifications you could possibly imagine. I don't use any of them. I just bring magic to make your business grow faster. Okay, let's dive on into it. So we're going to cover gangster style business reviews, measuring your progress, the big questions that will surprise you. These are the questions that you need to ask to really ramp up your business. Building a new and improved vision, mapping the gaps and making plans, staying on track with aligned actions. This is the bit that you really want, right? This is the secret sauce, staying on track for aligned actions. Okay, so we're going to go through all the material. If you have any questions, save them for me till the end. If you like, you can put them into the chat box, and then I'll answer them all at the end for you. This is going to be recorded, so I will send you all the recording, right? So you can go back and check it, because I will be talking quite fast. I can't help myself, even without coffee on board. Okay, there is a business acceleration club starting for me and my peeps in a week and a half. If you want to join that, it's not too late, and you can talk to me about that. If you want to, stick around at the end and I'll talk to you about it. Okay, measuring your progress. What goals did you set for 2021? Where did you think your income would be by the end of the year? So just start writing down answers to these. What did you think your client numbers or your product sales would be? You know, it can be in your wildest fantasies. It can be something you wrote down, but just have some kind of loose idea. Because if you don't have a plan of where you're going to go, the universe doesn't know how to direct you. Your soul doesn't know how to give you the guidance so that your business will grow. It's always important to know where you're going. Otherwise, it's like getting in the car and just driving around aimlessly and then wondering why you ended up in Otago. Okay, doing this with you as we go. Right. What new creations did you think you would be birthing? Did you think you'd be creating new products or new courses? Did you think you'd be launching a podcast? Did you think you would be writing a book? What new things were you birthing? What systems update? Did you plan on buying new software? Did you plan on upgrading your website? What did you think you would be achieving? Now, of course, we're not through the whole year, right? So you won't have achieved all of this already, but it's going to give us kind of a marker, like a line in the sand, if you like, so we can measure where we've been, what we still want to do, and how to get there. What about visibility? Did you have great plans of building a Facebook group and getting 1,000 people in there? Did you promise yourself that you were going to do Instagram properly this year? What were the things that you promised yourself? I'm laughing because it's exactly what I promised myself. New leads. How did you plan on bringing new leads in? Were you planning on building a new sales funnel? Were you planning on working on your customer journey? Were you planning on working on your client avatar? Write everything down you can possibly think of. Isn't that piggy cute? Right. Okay. Now it's time to measure our progress. So each of those things that you wrote down, bearing in mind that you thought that you would achieve them over 12 months and it's only been 6 months. I want you to measure everything with a color. And I mean, you might not have colored pens right beside you, right? But you can just write the color orange, green, pink, or red. So if you have achieved 25% of it or less, put an orange beside it. If you have achieved between 25 and 50%, put a green beside it. If you've done more than 50, woohoo, you get pink and a gold star. And if it's completed, you get red and I don't know what the prize is. A ride on a wild pony. Okay, so go ahead and analyze the things that you've written down. Don't think too hard about things, right? The trick to doing things quickly and then moving on to the next thing and growing your business is doing everything fast, making decisions fast. And that's why tapping into your soul is so important, because when you're tapped into soul, you can make decisions just like that. And if you look at all the very, very wealthy business owners, that's what they do. They make a decision just like that and they do not turn back on it. Okay, so go ahead and rate yourself. Okay. What are your traffic lights looking like? How many greens do you have? How many reds? How many oranges? And even if it's confronting, we've got to look at it, right? And this is why a lot of us don't do business reviews, because they're confronting. Now, people that grow their businesses do daily reviews, weekly reviews, monthly reviews, quarterly reviews, mid-year reviews, annual reviews, right? Reviews make us want to scream and run away and hide because they're so bloody boring. But a review is really just looking at where you wanted to go, measuring where you are, and then deciding the actions to take. Because if you don't take the actions, then that's when you get to the end of the year and you haven't achieved it. And then another year goes, and then 5 year goes, and then 10 year goes, and you're like, why have I not achieved what I wanted to achieve? It's like when you're driving your car, there's tiny little bumps in the road, right? And so of course your steering wheel wobbles a bit, but if you just held onto it really tightly and just straight and you didn't look to the sides at all, you'd either have a crash or you'd end up in the ditch. Okay, so tiny little adjustments are needed in your business all the time to keep it on track. That's why reviews are just so important. Okay, now just quickly jot down these answers. What are you celebrating? What patterns can you see? Can you see that actually you have a pattern that you achieve your goals quicker than what you think? Do you have a pattern that the things that require visibility are the things that kind of trip you up and have stayed orange? Do you see a pattern that you haven't achieved anything that you wanted to achieve? Have you done everything else apart from what you wanted to do? Are you procrastinating and damaging your business by not working on things that are really super important? Are you working on things that are important to other people instead of what's really important to you? Okay. What goals no longer match what is in your soul? Like if you wrote down you're going to be an Insta star and it's just like, ugh, it just feels heavy in my body. I think I've got something stupid like 222 followers or something. It's like, well, okay, it's definitely an orange, isn't it? Okay, what are you no longer going to ignore? What do you decide from this point on to no longer ignore in your business? What can you no longer ignore looking at these actual statistics and numbers in front of you? Okay, the big questions. I want you to answer these very quickly, and I want you to write the answers down because you're going to want to come back to them. Don't think too hard about it. Just go gangbusters, okay? What is going gangbusters for me in business? Whatever answer pops up for you first is the answer that you write down. What am I fucking loving to bits in my business? What am I still doing just because I think I must? What needs an upgrade or an up level? What needs to be outsourced or automated? Instagram for sure. What is new and exciting on the horizon for me? What do I feel coming into my soul for the future? What prices need to go up? What am I feeling? Oh, why am I still doing that for that price? What of your prices need to go up? Where are you leaving money on the table? Where are you not taking your clients and your customers to the next level? Buying more products, purchasing packages. What trends and patterns am I seeing in my business? And how can I take my visibility to the next level? Okay. So when you look at all of that that's kind of come out, I want you to look at what are the big important things that'll move you forward. So where are you leaving money on the table? It's probably going to be important for you. How can you boost visibility? Is probably going to be important for you. And the next moves that you want to take, the exciting thing that's coming in, or the thing that's holding you back, those are probably going to end up being your rocks. And I'm going to talk about rocks and sand at the end, right? But this is how you grow your business. You focus on just a few things at a time. Otherwise, it's overwhelming, and then we start procrastinating. Okay, new visions. We did the review. Now let's face forward. Who do you look at and think, I really want that. I want what that bitch has got. And what part of it are you crushing on? Is it that they have so much visibility? Is it that they have a podcast? Is it the content that they're doing? Is it the way they're doing the content? Is it some yummy products? Is it the way they've packaged their products together? Is it their website? Is it the way that they share their messaging? Who are you looking at and going, yeah, I want a bit of that for myself? Because that's the clue for you, right? That is the clue on how you're going to move forward. Whatever it is that you're crushing on is the exact direction that your soul wants to go in. So take a little moment to think about that. Close your eyes if you need to go inside. What is it that you are actually crushing on right now? Okay, write it down. If your art, your craft, your magic had never even been performed before, it was never even invented. So nobody knew how to do any of it. It had never been done. There was nobody saying, this is the way that you do coaching, or this is the way that you do healing, or this is the way that you sell this product, or this is the way that you do this retreat. If there was no way of knowing how to do anything, and you got to invent it right from scratch, you're a whole entire industry. If you got to reinvent it from scratch, what would you do? Don't focus on what you wouldn't do. What would you actually do? Because that, my darlings, is like $1 million gold nugget. Your way of doing things is the way to make money. That's why you will never see me sharing, follow this, follow this formula to 6 figures. There is no fucking formula. You are the formula. Your soul has the answers, right? And if you do things the way that other people do things, you'll get mediocre results. If you do things, if you follow industry and you try and be polite and you try and be professional, it just crushes all that creativity. When you truly bring out what you really want to bring out and only what you want to bring out, like the old way of marketing, listen to me, I'm on my bandwagon. When the old way of marketing is look for the gap in the market and sell to that. It's just a way to crush your soul, right? Like I've done it. It's sure you can make a little bit of money out of it, but it's not fun. Think about what would be fun for you to do, and then think where are the clients that need this in their lives right now. That's a much better way to come at it, rather than where the gap is. Okay, what is it that you really want? The big thing inside of you that refuses to roll over and play dead. The thing that keeps knocking on your little brain at nighttime and being like, hey, what if you could be famous? Hey, what if you could just sell this product and you could sell it all over the world? Okay, now when you've got that written down, and remember, you guys can come back to this. I know I talk fast, but you can come back to it. The reason I talk fast is I don't want you to dive into any stories, right? Now, what does the person who has already achieved that believe to be true? The person who has already believed that, what does she believe to be true? What does she know to be true? And the person who has already achieved that, what actions do they take? And what do they no longer do anymore? Is there something they are no longer available for? Do they have to ditch something in order to get that? And then the last question, how can you take a step towards that right now? Not the whole big leap, we're not going to bound up the mountain in one single bound. What's the first step that you can take on that now? Confronting, isn't it? Seeing what's in your soul, the big things that want to come out. But don't worry, I'm going to show you a way that you can achieve it. All right, action time. Where are the gaps and what is still to be done? So I want you to compare what you wrote down for what you wanted to achieve at the beginning of the year. And then I want you to compare it with what came out of those big, juicy questions. Is there anything that needs to change on your goals and desires list to be morphed into something new? Or do you need to add some things on there? If you've achieved some things, cross them off and write in the new things. Okay. All right, so I want you to pick just 3 things that you're going to work on, or maybe even 2, right? Like you're better off to pick less than more, because if you need to pick something else afterwards, you can always go back to it. So pick the 2 things that you are going to be working on in your business. If your page is getting a bit messy, then just highlight the 2 things. Okay. Everybody got their 2 things. If you can't pick 2 things, pick the thing that scares you the most. I guarantee you the thing that scares you the most is the thing that you're supposed to do. And don't worry, if you can't pick what you want to do, you can have a chat to me at the end. Okay, so write it all down. So what you're going to do when you get off this call is you're going to go and make your own spreadsheet, right? I'm going to show you what I do so that you can see how I track my goals. So I normally make a spreadsheet like this, and I put task 1. Remember, I'm setting 3 tasks for the next 6 months, and I break each task down into 5 parts. Because here's what we do. We're like, right, I want to start a podcast. And then we write it on our goal list. And then we have no fucking idea where to start. So we don't do it because it's just too hard. So if you write down podcast and then, so let's say I did an example here for you. So launch the book, right? I've written a book and now it's time to launch it. So that's task 1 for me. The 5 parts are write the press release, get into 3 publications, book a launch, book launch party. Who wants to come? Good. Social media around the book launch, and then public events. How to apply your woo-woo in 3 easy steps. Who wants to come to that too? Yeah, exactly. Right, so those are my 5 parts. And then I consider what resources do I actually need. This takes the overwhelm out of it. I know you think, oh my God, a spreadsheet, it's overwhelming. But trust me, this takes the overwhelm out of it and allows you to achieve what you want to achieve. What are my timelines? When will I achieve each of these by? If I don't set a timeline, I'm simply going to waffle off and ride my horse every day and not do what I'm supposed to do. People and resources. I've got a copywriter. I need to get her to write me a lovely PR launch. I need a VA because she can go and contact all the publications for me because I don't have time. The book launch party, I'll organize most of it. My VA will probably send out the invites. Social media, I'm not doing any of that. I can't be bothered. I'll have someone else do it all for me. Public events, yep, it'll probably be me organizing most of that. So see, I allocate who's going to do it. Because then I know, do I need to employ my VA for more hours? Do I need to find a new copywriter if I don't like my copywriter? What are the things that I need to put in place in order to achieve the goal? And then I go step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, are there further steps for each part, right? So I need a copywriter. I've got to set up a Zoom meeting with her. She's going to write the first outline. Then I'll approve the final. And then I'll probably hand it over to the VA. And then the next thing is I need to talk to my VA. She needs to send out to the press releases and she needs to follow up twice, right? So this is where I'd put all the information so I can keep a track of it. Because remember, I'll be working on task 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. And that's where it's easy to get overwhelmed. But at the end of this, I'm going to show you the way not to get overwhelmed. Everyone okay with that? Remember, this is being recorded, so you can go ahead and copy my beautiful sparkly little spreadsheet there. I'm absolutely crushing on my slide deck. My my graphic designer made it for me. It's cute, isn't it? Right, staying on track. Rocks, big 5 before 11, power hours, accountability, daily, weekly reviews. Are you ready? Rocks and sand, okay? Rocks and sand. Your life is a container. If you fill up a container with a whole lot of sand and then you tried to put some big rocks on the top, they'd poke out the top, right? They wouldn't fit. But if you put the big rocks in the container and then you let the sand all sprinkle up through it, you'd actually be able to fit everything in. Yeah, I mean, you've all done that at the beach, right? When you're a kid. So the sand is the shit in your life, right? So it's making kids' lunches, it's answering husbands' questions, it's answering emails, it's, building pretty things on Canva. It's all the little stuff that actually really doesn't matter, right? And no, making your kids' lunches doesn't matter. They can make it themselves. And the rocks are the really big things that'll move your business forward. So remember when I asked you to compare what you thought you wanted to do for the year and then what you also want to add or change for the year and pick 2 or 3 things? Those 2 or 3 things are your rocks. And you're going to take one tiny step towards each of those rocks every single day. And if that is all you ever do, you will achieve your goals. It is honestly the secret to achieving your goals. And the steps need to be tiny. And the trick to knowing what steps to take are to look at the spreadsheet. That's why you need the spreadsheet. So you turn on your computer and you're like, oh my God, my brain is dead. What am I doing today? Wait, okay, book launch, That's right. I've got to set up a meeting with my copywriter. So that's the one thing that I'm going to do today, set up a Zoom call and have a Zoom call with my copywriter, right? So can you see how that keeps the ball rolling as you go along? If you're just taking that one little action every single day. Big 5 before 11, the rules that I give everyone inside my Business Acceleration Club and rules that will keep your business flowing in the right direction is no social media until lunchtime whatsoever and no answering emails. Basically, no outside communication until after lunch. After lunch is your own day, right? Like you can literally work on your business till lunchtime and then stop. You can. You can literally do that 5 days a week and make a good amount of money, but it takes focus. You cannot focus. When you wake up in the morning, you're very connected to soul. When you're connected to soul, you can make big decisions and work very fast. If you wake up and the first thing you do is look at your phone, you've lost it. Your soul's got, oh, what's that shit, right? Because it's all negative stuff, or you're jealous of people, or, you know, like it's stuff that is not going to actually help you to go where you want to go. So staying away from social media and any outside forces. I literally don't talk to anyone. Like if my husband tries to start a conversation about something in the morning, I'm like, please wait till the afternoon, right? Because it's really important for me to get on track where I'm going. Don't worry, he's used to it. They get used to it. And the big 5 before 11 is a Rockefeller business habit, right? So same with rocks and sand. So doing the big 5 before 11, do your 5 most important tasks before 11 o'clock in the morning. And once you've done the 11 tasks, stop working. Go and ride your horse. Power hours. Do everything in hours, right? Your brain starts to get a little bit tired and foggy after an hour. Like they actually say that you can absorb information for 20 minutes, but your brain can work for about an hour. So a power hour is basically, I'll jump ahead a little bit here, right? So daily, weekly reviews. Part of the weekly review is to look at your goals, where you look at what you have achieved, what you haven't achieved, and plan out what you're going to do for the next week. When you plan out what you're going to do for the next week, you open up your calendar and you put all of your things in there in power hours. That's how you get it all done. And the power hours will always be very early in the morning. And if your house turns into chaos at like 8 o'clock because kids get up and you've got to get them off to school, get up at 5 o'clock and work for 3 hours before they get up. Then get everyone off to school, come back, do the things that don't require so much brain work, and then have the afternoon to yourself, right? So just skew your day in a way that works for you. Accountability. It's pretty tough. Whoa, look at that. I'm moving it. It's pretty tough to stay on track without accountability. If you're a super, super focused person, great. Be accountable to yourself. If you need accountability, then it's best to be in a business group or work with someone else. Daily and weekly reviews. Daily. Plan out what you're going to do daily. Tick it off. At nighttime, review it. Did you achieve everything you wanted to achieve? Why not? Or why? Why or why not? So why? Yeah, because I didn't go on social media till lunchtime and I was really focused and I had plenty of coffee. Or why not? Well, I went onto social media at 8 o'clock because I heard the ding just as I was getting up, right? So really analyze why. I can't tell you, like, honestly, reviews are the way to grow your business. That was a lot, right? But that was pretty much how you review your business and plan where you want to go forward. So we did the gangster style business review. We reviewed where we were and we did the traffic light rating. So you can come back and do this every single month if that's what you want to do. So we measured progress with the traffic light rating. We asked the big questions that we don't normally ask ourselves, and we asked them from our soul. Building a new improved vision, we decided the 3 things that we wanted to take forward. We looked at where the gaps were and put them onto a spreadsheet. And then we talked about what you need to do in order to stay on track with aligned actions. Pretty good, right? Now, for those of you that aren't in the Business Acceleration Club, let me just quickly tell you what it's like. I have lots of my BAC girls in here. But what if